What did you think about Adam before the head coaching process began?
Well, I think I've met Adam a few times, and obviously we coached. We played against him, so I knew him from that standpoint. But we have some mutual friends, so I had a bit of a feel for him. I've always, everybody I've ever talked to about Adam and all the research we did on him before we actually got a chance to interview him, people spoke very highly in terms of his passion, his intellect. From an offensive standpoint, it's very well documented. His work with quarterbacks that very much intrigued us, and from an offensive standpoint, he's very, very creative and innovative. But I think really before we had a chance to meet him, we knew a lot about him. And I always tell people the interview process is a part of it, but in reality, it's all the research you do on him. It's almost like scouting a player that you would do in college or in the pro free agency.
Now, coaching in New York is no easy job. Mm-hmm. Obviously the media capital of the world, a lot of high expectations from the fans. Did that play any role in your coaching decision? Getting a coach who could handle the media, who could take on the press, who wouldn't be fazed by the scrutiny?
Well, I think that's a part of it. I think it's obviously a very difficult job to be a head coach in, whether it's college, pro, or high school. But in the NFL, it takes on a whole different level. But I think with us in particular, Adam having history, having been a head coach in the NFL, that's obviously from his own experience, like a learning curve with anybody who does the job for the first time, and Adam's had that already. But we felt very good about him and his personality, and we're kind of excited to see how our eventually our fans are going to get more of a feel for him, and the media and our players. So we're kind of excited to see how he does.
Was it almost instantaneously when you started hearing Coach Gase talk and you said, "Hey, listen, I share a similar vision for where this team has to go," because you two obviously have to be on the same page, and Christopher Johnson doesn't make this move unless he sees a connection between you two.
No, I think we definitely felt that. I think when going through this process, and we interviewed a number of excellent candidates, so I think it was we felt very good about the guys we identified and the guys we talked to. But in particular with Adam, I think as we went through this, there's a lot of things to be a successful head coach in this league. I think you mentioned about the New York market, but I think the other part of it is really when you sort of combine sort of his passion, his history, his energy, his intellect, in terms of his ability to develop and work with quarterbacks. There's a lot of really key things in that whole process. But the other part, when you go back and look what he did in Miami, there's other things we're focused on too from the defense and special team standpoint. But he definitely feel good about him and his ability to lead our team into the future here, and we're very excited about that.
I know he's going to have a question here, but I just want to tell you that Adam Gase is coming up on the show as well. Right now, GM Mike Maccagnan has been gracious with his time joining us here on a special installment of Jets 360 Live.
Now, Coach Gase talked about the priority is finding the coaching staff.
Mm-hmm.
How much of a role will he have, and how much of a role will you have in finding the assistants, the coordinators, and their moving forward?
Yeah, that really falls in our structure. As we said before, myself, Neil Glatt, and Adam all were on the same level. We all report to ownership. That's Adam's decision, who to hire for his coaching staff. I think we support and help him if, from a logistics standpoint, if he ever needs, obviously, our input, we're there for him. We'll help out with some of the contract negotiation aspects of it, but a lot of that's going to be on Adam, and he is a very, when we went through this process like we do with all the coaches, we talked about his staff and who he'd potentially want to hire, and we feel very good about some of the guys he's going to go to target, and they're very good coaches, and we'll be very aggressive to try to get him here to help him.
Did it impress you what he did over his tenure at various stops with quarterbacks at different stages of their careers? And also, what do you think about his fiery philosophy? I talked to Chad Pennington the other day. He said, listen, with Adam Gase, you're either all in or you're out. Because he wants everybody in that locker room buy in. And if he doesn't get that, he's not going to be a happy camper.
No, and I think that's one of the things you want in a head coach, because in the end, it's you're building that culture, that chemistry. The players kind of they thrive off of that. I know from a work ethic standpoint, he's again, what he is and what he's going to have on our team is going to be exceptional. He's all about toughness. He wants aggressiveness. Those are all key qualities that we want to help build this organization with. But really, when you go down through it, it's like there's a lot of things. And again, observing what he did in Miami with that team down there and some of the things he had, and he had some, like everything, like injury issues and other things he dealt with and made tough decisions. We're very excited about him going forward and having him be here, part of us to work with.
Can you take us through inside the interview room maybe a little bit? Christopher and Adam told us before about some FaceTiming sessions with your quarterback, Sam Darnold.
Yeah, we actually did that with a few of our candidates. I think we felt, a few things. One was, to at least have some degree of interaction with the two to kind of see that and observe that a little bit. But that was not necessarily a defining aspect of how we decided the next head coach. It was a part of it, I thought, a little bit, and quite frankly, Sam, along with all the other players on our team, are very important. But Sam's a very young quarterback. We think very highly of him. We think he has a bright future, and his development will be key to our ability to be successful. So that was a part of the process where we at least had a little interaction with the candidates and Sam.
Well, you're a busy man. We thank you so much for stopping by here, the set at the auditorium inside One Jets Drive, the Atlantic Health Jets Training Center. Thanks, Mike.